Warm greetings to you all.
We welcome you to the valedictory part of this virtual International Poetry Fest 2020. The 13th GIPF is divided into 7 sessions with 22 poets in each session. There are 26 poets from abroad and 156 poets from all the states in India took part in this fest. The 7 sessions in 7 days are really wonderful.
The experience gained by the poets in presenting their poems through video, recordings, and the experience gained by us as organizers in editing and conducting the fest in virtual mode is really unforgettable and memorable for a lifetime.
We express our gratitude to all the poets who recited the poems on COVID-19 and the problems encountered during the lockdown period, plight of the migrant workers and laborers, experience of the teachers and students, job crisis, and the thoughts and feelings on isolation.
The e-certificates will be issued to all our poets shortly. We will send them to the WhatsApp numbers or to their emails. We will bring out these selected poems in the form of an e-book with ISBN number. The book will be priced at 150 rupees and is available in Amazon and Kindle.
We sincerely request all the poets to purchase a copy, 1 copy or 2 copies, and support GIPF. The money collected will be spent to the corona patients.
Once again, we thank all the poets who stood by us in our ideals and objectives in all these 13 years. We specially thank Sudarshan Kechari, CEO of Authors Press, our STEM, and our big brother, Dr. L.S.R. Prasad, for their support over the years. We are highly indebted to them.
We thank our dear doctor, Dr. K. Basopane Garu and Dr. K. Srinivas Garu, Sri J. Murali Mohan Garu, Dr. I. Nageswarao Garu, and Sri S.R.K. Prasad Garu for spending their precious time in sending wishes as well as messages to the poets and to the 13th GIPF 2020.
We specially thank Dr. Sai Chand, who did the editing work and uploading the sessions daily. Susila and Sai Chand brought out the idea of hosting this 13th GIPF online for the first time, and I supported it. The banner and the certificates are designed by Sai Chand in consultation with Nagasusila. Pushyami and Monisha also supported us in conducting the fest during these days of lockdown period.
Last but not the least, our pranam to Gopichand's father, Sri P. Satyanarayana Garu, who was our mentor as well as a staunch supporter. We wish he feels happy in the other world, listening and watching all the poets in all the 7 sessions rendering their poems to the 13th GIPF 2020.
Last but not the least, Mr. Sada Garu, life partner of Susil Garu, and P. Geeta, my better half, stood with us in hosting this festival. And I also thank from the bottoms of my heart my mother, who has given great encouragement in conducting this 13th GIPF virtually. I also thank the parents of Susila, Sri P. Satyanarayana and Srimati Koteswaramma Garu for their moral support all these years.
Finally, we strongly wish that we shall meet when normalcy regains in future. A big thanks to you all for making this 13th GIPF a grand fest. Pranam to you all. Namaste.
Stay home,
Stay safe
stay blessed,
with lots of love
and
and
affection.
Gopichand and
Nagasusila. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Deepa Chandran is an Indian-Australian poet, writer, painter, lecturer and scientist. She currently works for Deakin University, Victoria, Australia and lectures chemistry and physics to biomedical students and also actively engaged in science education and research. Poetry and music and painting was in her veins right from her childhood. She was a member of the World Writers Union. Her poems were recited in many radio podcasts. She has participated in many international exhibitions.
Everyone, I would like to dedicate this poem to everyone who is in quarantine during these pandemic conditions. The strange tree in earthly chain. So here goes the poem. I am a strange tree in earthly chain. I house black chiropteras that sell burgers to the moon. Their greasy eyes a bag of sand. My birds muse on my dispersed dreams. My burning branches pour lava of tears that blooms gems on my forehead. Shadows of truculent bats collide and disappear. Strange as it seems, my palpable melody hangs suspended from my mouth. I see scriptures on my leaf, left undeciphered for me. I rejoice in the rainbow of my yesteryears. A star seated on my highest branch is a nebula from my palm, precipitated as my blood image. I eat the flowers. They have evaporated veins. I munch the spring and summer of my age. Virgin fishes with irregular spine swim on my navel of Red Sea. Spelunking white ants on my misty branches giggle with their yellow teeth on saplings down. I feel enshrined within the celestial tree, who brings fire from oceans to burn down my silhouette. The day fades on sun's mournful brow, but night is all ours in the colors of a song. Thank you.
Saranya Francis is a multilingual poet, English teacher, soft skill trainer. She has to her credit 3 published anthologies of poetry titled Being Purple, Ambedo and Sonder. She is awarded the Star Ambassador of World Poetry. Saranya Francis is currently an assistant professor of English in St. Paul's College, Bangalore and the secretary of ZAV Foundation.
Hello everyone, I'm Saranya Francis from Bangalore. I'd like to present my poem, Beginning of the End. Is this the beginning of the end? Untouchables, everyone. No respite, no God send. A minuscule, formless beast has unleashed. Its fury and chaos has become a favored legend. Is this winter here to stay? Will spring seriously elude? Will humanities and its loyalties sway to author this dreadful end's prelude? Silence. Eerie, empty spaces gather moss. The air has turned wild and sinister. Fear and falsehood wins the toss, and powerless stand the mighty who administer. Right is now wrong, and wrong is right. Margins have dimmed, centers have lost sight. Beasts of falsehood lurk free in broad daylight. Frontline angels are doomed to a meek fight. Everyone cries, every eye cries for an antidote. Every knee bows in the aftermath's jolt. Save us, O mighty power of powers, cull this Armageddon with your mercy's showers. Thank you.
Mr. Kishan Chand Sethi and his wife, Mrs. Sunita Sethi, are poets, writers, authors, and coffee table book compilers from Daman. They have given a new shape to poetry in the frames of pictorial poetry. They have attained 4 Golden Book of World Records, 4 Asia Book of Records, and 4 India Book of Records in literature and art. Recently, they have published a Silver Jubilee Coffee Table Book Anthology, that is the 25th Coffee Table Anthology, entitled Gems, with 40 poets, poems, and profiles.
Dear friends, we congratulate you. My wife is with me. She is making the video. Today we present our poem on COVID-19, a devastating pandemic. So I read my poem as under. Heading of poem is Let Not. Life cannot play music all the times. Life cannot play music all the times. It has other challenges to work with, to meet with. COVID-19 at first hand to fight back. COVID-19 at first hand to fight back. Mother Earth to be returned to its default. COVID-19 at the first hand to fight back, Mother Earth to be returned to its default. Nature sustaining hypoxia means lack of oxygen. That has to oxify. We have to meet that requirement. Our wastes are spreading. Pandemic me terminated. Our waste are spreading. Pandemic are to be terminated. People dying rapidly. But no coffin. Dead being thrown into streets have to be buried holily. People dying rapidly, but no coffins. Dead being thrown into streets have to be buried holily. No worry. It's case of USA. I've seen that video. The grave, they have made a big grave and they're putting people all together there in the coffins. No worry if being graved all together. Since humanity has no race, no identity. Let not the dead. Our duty is to what? Let not the dead be left without a grave or without a cremation, or be cremated carefully to honor human race. Thank you very much.
Dr. Mahajabeen Neshant Anjum is a professor of English, former director of Foreign Language Department, Magadh University, Bodh Gaya. She is the editor-in-chief and publisher, New Frontier, an international journal of humanities and social sciences. She translated Malati Rao's awarded novel, The Disorderly Woman, from English into Urdu under the title of Bikri Bikri or Teen, published by Sahitya Academy in 2015.
Namaste, I am Dr. Mahajabeen Anjum. I am going to recite my poem entitled Reflection on a Morning of COVID-19 Lockdown. I have exclusively written this poem for the 13th Guntur International Poetry Festival 2020. Now I will read my poem. Cuckoo sitting in tranquility and luxurious ease on a mango tree laden with half-ripe fruits spills over the melody of her song, invincible, immortal. Sings and sings and sings to the last syllable of the fleeting morning. Cuckoo's song pierces through the silence of the COVID-19 lockdown. No passers-by, no human voice. A blanket of silence covers human life in vicinity and far off. Only the joyful chirping of the birds all around permeates everywhere. Cuckoo's song knows no coronavirus, no lockdown, no boundaries. It is eternal. The dawn is at its best, nature at its best, the human race at the worst. Pushed to the wall by a tiny virus, confined, isolated, aggrieved by the social distancing, shocked at the sad revelation. Novel coronavirus is transmitted human to human. What an irony! Humankind, bewildered, besieged, stares into the sky as if asking to the Almighty, why us?
Anup Chowdhury is a bilingual poet, critic, author, theatre activist, editor, lyricist, social worker, and above all, a teacher from Bankura, West Bengal.
Hi friends, I am Anup Chowdhury from West Bengal, India. Going to recite my poem, Migrant Lover. Bring back my days, golden, adorable, decorated with smile. When factories on the go, I could cuddle my kids to feed them to their accord. Stars revolve round the moon, everything looks stunning. Now the planets are not at my side, walking all day long with wilds, contemplating to meet my end, crossing thousands of miles, stumbled over unknown fate, grinding between belly and virus, pushing the trolley for ages, seems a resident of world another, being roasted in no man's land. Namaskar.
Rumpa Ghosh is a published poet, content writer, classical vocal singer, blogger and a YouTuber. She is a postgraduate and B.Ed from the University of Calcutta and pursuing another MA course presently. She has worked as a teacher in St. Thomas School, Mumbai, as a content writer for Pratham and as an English curriculum developer in Vibyor English School, Mumbai. She publishes her writings on her blog and uploads her songs and recitations on her YouTube channel. She has published her book Musical Marvels of
Hello, I'm Rumpa Ghosh. Today I'm going to present my poem, A Pristine Dawn. Existed and evolved since inception under the open sky, nurtured in the green kingdom with a carefree heart. Somewhere our smile is lost behind the colorful masks. Uncertainty in different forms, molding the ways of life. Life has deviated from its regular track, creating distances of fear, locking the zeal of humankind. Hidden souls we are now, stepping out only to gather sustenance. War against an unprecedented enemy for a never-ending period of time. Exhausted warriors in us, few struggling and giving up patience, some still battling for a pristine dawn. Thank you.
Hi, I am Alok Mishra. I am going to recite my poem Breaking Weather. How long, O mother, we have to run to get our soothing destination? Blisters on my feet, sweated brow. Crying breaths are violating now. Saw the unfortunate father, his girl asking to her mother, nothing to tell, nothing to think. He had only to drink some water for the little child, whose tiny hands, creamy mild, that once clapping now were shaking in the time of weather breaking, quenching thirst with the cold water, began journey again the daughter. Thank you.
Professor Manjit Indira of Chandigarh, Punjab is a retired ADPI, Punjab Government's Directorate of Colleges, Chandigarh. She writes in Punjabi. Her poems are translated into English, Hindi, Urdu, Malayalam, Ujibek and other languages. Her poem is selected by All India Ministry of Broadcasting, Delhi, translated into all Indian state languages and broadcasted through all India radio stations. She received many prestigious awards and rewards. Her songs were sung in many languages. She published books in poetry, prose, criticism, folklore and translation.
I'm Manjit Indira from Chandigarh, reciting my poem Spit Cobra. What is this God's game? Everyone is getting virus. Don't touch. Don't get close. Corona is there. Oh, virus is there. Don't sit closely. Oh, don't sing love lullaby. Mom used to frighten at tender age. Don't go out, there is virus rage. Today, really we came to know, because of virus, we are in cage. Dwelling in African jungle, humans have become spit cobras. Who can spit from 6 feet? Keep that much distance from other humans. Either he kill or gets killed. What is this description of nature? Till now, humans spat poison that always wounded the feelings of others with speech. But strange has happened now. Without biting and touching, humans are killing. Oh, they are killing. Keep distance. Keep distance. Stay in your hive if you want to survive. Oh, virus there. Thank you.
Professor Rama Mouli is a mechanical engineer, retired as Vice Principal, Ganapati Engineering College, Warangal, Telangana State. He is an eminent poet, short story writer, novelist and a literary critic. Has 61 published books, which includes 356 stories, 27 novels, 12 anthologies of poetry and 4 anthologies of essays. He penned stories and dialogues to 5 Telugu movies. He bagged many prestigious awards. He authored 6 textbooks for mechanical engineering students. His works are translated into English, Hindi, Tamil.
Namaste. I am Professor Rama Mouli. Now I am going to recite my poem, which is specially written, exclusively written for our 13th Guntur International Poetry Festival 2020. This poem is going to speak about a very hell-like experiences of crores of migrant laborers, those who are on the roads of this nation, after declaring the lockdown in India because of Corona. Originally, this poem is written in Telugu and being translated into English by a world famous translator, Dr. Lanka Shivarama Prasad Garu. And now I request you to look at the picture I am going to present on the screen. On looking that, please listen this poem and try to synchronize them. My dear friends, the title of the poem is A Devastating Cancer in the Hearts. Yes, yes, those two pair of feet got charred, broke, blistered red, and withered dry in that scorching heat, with every step becoming a laborious task on that asphalt track. Those tired feet belongs to her, belongs to him and to this country. They are the builders of this nation's bounty, the migrant laborers. Kaleshwaram project, high-tech city, stadiums, multi-layered roads, villas, luxury houses. These are the people that carry the labor basket. The moment Corona, the goddess of death, it is no demon, gave her blessed appearance to the bewildered humans. The image of this country became obvious in true colors then. Who are the makers? And who are the residents? Who are the migrant laborers? And who are the staff holders? The moment the lockdown was on, like migratory birds, 14 crores of migrant workers, like migratory birds, 14 crores of migrant workers, why they appeared on the national highways suddenly, with infinite unanswered questions, lives becoming torn paper kites in dust storm, carrying the residual fruits of labor in just two bundles, on their two heads, day and night, walking and walking thousands of kilometers, two calloused hands now in search of future, two weary feet moving without any direction, bearing the devastating malignant tumor in their hearts, on their hearts, the tireless, the timeless, recurrent walk and walk, but where? To where? Thank you very much. Okay.
Wish. When the sun was mellow and the sky turned crimson red, a lone cloud overhead cast its shadow on the earth below, and immediately I felt I was with it one. The wind swayed it at its own sweet will, stray thoughts that swarmed my head, I found them strange, some intuitive, some full of emotions that are tender and gentle, while other lewd and even wild swayed me too. I wonder how I duped the world with words sweetened with honey, for the world saw not what was inside me. Each act of kindness that I did was veiled with some unkind intent, but can I dupe myself and my Maker, for whom it's all open threadbare? I don't know whether I need to answer my Maker after I finish my journey here in this world, but I wish when it's time for me to leave, my shroud is neat and clean. Thank you very much.
Renette D Souza from Mumbai, India is a writer, editor, entrepreneur, social activist working toward the empowerment of women, a strong believer in the simple policy of live and let live with love and peace, and with a passion for traveling, photography and writing poetry. Her work has been published in many national as well as international anthologies on a broad range of subjects. A recipient of many awards, her poems have also aired on live shows and featured in various e-magazines.
Hello everyone, my name is Renette D Souza and I am from Mumbai, India. The title of my poem is The Summer of 2020. Fields of sun-kissed marigolds blossomed, so did the flaming, flamboyant gulmohar trees. Summer was welcomed by one and all, from our windows and our balconies. The primrose plant on my windowsill sprout new leaves, and to new buds it gave birth. This is the season of new beginnings, yet like autumn, life continues to fade on earth. We dream of a world with no boundaries. Now we have barricades at every twist and turn. No guns and wars, yet death is cast upon us. Helplessly we watch the dead bodies we burn. No armies are needed to fight our battles. It is our health workers that soldier on tirelessly through the days and nights until the break of dawn. The streets wear a deserted, ghostly look. Silence permeates through the air. Aghast humans stay confined at home. The times are strenuous everywhere. The sun continues to glare and frown on empty streets bereft of any crime. As the economy continues to slow down, we're winding up the clock, going back in time. Hugs and handshakes is now a thing of the past. Saying namaste is now how we show we care. Social distancing is the need of the hour. Designer face masks is our latest fashion wear. With all countries in lockdown mode, and a virus that looks like it's here to stay, and no fixed vaccines or cures, yet we have faith, we hope and pray. We pray for both the young and the old. May blessings we have in plenty as we wake up to the dawn of a new world in this summer of 2020. Thank you so much for listening. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay home. Namaste.
Dr. Gopa Naik is an academician, researcher, translator and a bilingual poet. She has published 2 books of poems in English and 1 in Odia. Fire Sermon is her latest book on feminism with the translated stories from eminent Odia writers into English. She has edited coffee table books on Kumbh, Bodh Gaya and Gaya among others. Gopa is currently serving as the Director of English Language Centre at O.P. Jindal Global University, India. She belongs to Bhubaneswar, Odisha.
Corona, your fear. Corona, your fear closed my front door. Windows open left, right and center. Parched lips sealed with medicated cover. Hands washed, nail paints and lost glamour. The new normal, they say. When had life been normal? What does normal mean? I eat and I sleep and I dream. Hope glistens as always, weaving through the sounds of croaking frogs. I also pray for Lord Rain to come and quench the thirst of scorched Mother Earth and the cactus plant in my balcony. Everything is normal, like the heat and the dust. that comes every year. Corona, your fear opened everyone to frailty. Poor, rich, and entire humanity, the vocals covered their mouth for fear of impunity. Herbal tonics smeared with honey to boost immunity. The new drink, they say. Yet had the drinks been replaced? What does drink display? I drink milk with turmeric, faith in grandma's tradition. The party with friends, family, and extended ones goes on more these days with digital apps and webinars. The need for fake glory, breathing pure air and false pretense, diminishing returns from nature makes Ganga and Yamuna purer. Your fear, Corona, the unending story continues.
Vaishnavi Sri is an MA, B.Ed in Hindi. She is a poet, short story writer, essayist and a journalist and a teacher by profession. In 2019, she published a book of poems entitled Edava Rutuvu.
I am Vaishnavi Sri. Now I am going to recite a poem. The title of the poem is They Are Walking. No way to fly, no way to visit any country, no way at all to be a carrier of anything. A worm that came crawling over many wallets ate up their lives. No way to fly, no way to visit any country, no way at all to be a carrier of anything. A worm that came crawling over many wallets ate up their lives. Gates closed, half-naked constructions stood shamingly, the earth under the feet erupting like volcano pushed away. Gates closed, half-naked constructions stood shamingly, the earth under the feet erupting like volcano pushed away. They journeyed again, they are walking towards village. Like return of Siddhartha, not finding any truth and not getting any knowledge. They journeyed again, they are walking towards village. Like return of Siddhartha, not finding any truth and not getting any knowledge. Their legs may collapse, their hearts may quiet, they may become voiceless, anything may happen at any time, but now they are missing lads. Their legs may collapse, their hearts may quiet, they may become voiceless, anything may happen at any time, but now they are missing lads. With the hasty of reaching mother lap, they are moving towards the village welcoming. With the hasty of reaching mother lap, they are moving towards the village welcoming. They are going to the village only for the sake of village. They are going to the village only for the sake of village. Cause a life and death destiny, for them the village is. Cause a life and death destiny, for them the village is. Just give them a little assurance, emerging as the backbone of our country. Just give them a little assurance, emerging as the backbone of our country. They will even make us stand and keep on falling forever. They will even make us stand and keep on falling forever. Thank you.
Deepak Kumar Dey is a trilingual poet, a lover of nature and worshipper of poetry. He has authored 4 anthologies of poetry, Inseminated Eyes, An Unopened Letter, A Ray of Light, A King Without Kingdom. He is the recipient of the Featured Poet Award in 2017 by Fantasy Bee World Poetry Philippines, Kavi Kanya Award, Yuva Kavi Award, Kavi Shiromani and Youth Icon Award in 2018. His poems have been published nationally and internationally in 80 anthologies. He hails from Angul district, Odisha.
Hello friends, as the world is now deteriorated by corona effect, the people of world has suffered a lot. The laborers, the rag pickers and the common people's dream has somewhere been lost. Here is my poem, On Truth Spins On. Empty dreams are drowned on the deserted shore. Ocean deterioration casts razor-sharp flags. Taste of age is caught by two-edged sword of words. Then voice, the dead silence becomes more stronger. Untruth spins on, unknowable darkness fathers. Deadly dance of infectious mind are seen all around. Trust loses its way before shelter of a hatred ground, and a leader becomes ruler to take a glance at the tears. A world stands by critics, grieves an island of death. Brazen risables, furious scenes answer to dead souls. Intermittently, shadow of next, ultimate end calls, and remains unchanged to embrace only text of a breath. Perfume of freedom is deflected by volcanic eyebrows, wedding of light and darkness, for darkness grows.
Ramesh Mukhupadaya is a triple MA PhD, a retired college teacher, and a prolific multilingual writer, poet, prose writer, essayist, columnist, real writer, critic, editor, and translator. At present, he is translating the Chinese religious preachings into English and Kannada. He has to his credit more than 250 original publications and an editor of the international magazine platform, a bilingual magazine, English and Bengali.
Coronavirus by Dr. Ramesh Chandra Mukhopadhyaya. Coronavirus is the cornet of the darkling thrush invoked by the science and technology. Coronavirus is the cornet of the darkling thrush invoked by the science and technology that will crush the citadel of love, raised by the bricklayers who ate poets, that will crush the citadel of love, raised by the bricklayers who ate poets.
Tapas Baidya is a bilingual poet, author, editor, and a translator. He is from Kalaghat district, Purba, Midnapur, West Bengal, India. He authored 5 books to his credit. My Words is one among them. He has been editing a bilingual magazine named Shabdamala since 1994.
Namaskar, I am Tapas Baidya from West Bengal. Good day everybody. I gratefully acknowledge the central personalities of IPF 2020 Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. I hope overall wellness of all. The topmost line of my poetry, Kal Ghum and infinite sleeping. How far does the rally of fear caused by corona go? Can you imagine where is the happy end? The migrant birds returns as usual in spring with their lips full of grains and warmness. But everything changes here with time and tide. Household workers have lost their shelters. The black stones can recognize the footsteps of endless walkers who blossomed poetry on the rocky highways with their sweat and blood. Only the king can't feel the pulse of passing. March of our migrated neighbors collapse the map. The doors are closed with an agony of broken borders. They also step fast on hot boulder to touch memoirs. The boiling sun on their head is only the witness. The legs are burning and shedding blood, though sight has already been fixed for the farthest. When does the dusk come with a cold breeze? Blackened eyes cannot feel the dimness, the wait for a sleepy night after a long struggle. Taking dry and hard bread, they fall asleep a little bit on the trail line, the artery of our livelihood. Exhausted souls also relax with their worn out legs. For the many happy returns of the day, tomorrow comes one after another, but they never arise. Namaskar. Thank you.
Manas Bakshi has written many academic books, and he is a major voice in Indian English poetry because he has written 12 books. Many articles were written on him and about his poems, and he received many prizes for his short stories and poems, and he was reviewed widely in papers and journals. Really, it is an honor for us.
I'm thankful to Mr. Gopichand and Nagasushila Madam for arranging this poetry festival despite corona hazards. Here is my poem, Transformation. A beautiful woman in quest of fragrance plucked a flower. The tree felt the pain, the woman overwhelmed. The flower, adorning her hair, sought for placidity of an unblemished mind. Failing to get it anywhere, the flower was losing its sheen. The woman looked crestfallen as the flower dropped on the floor. The party, agog with music, lost its rhythm in her drunken, faltering footsteps. Trampled, bruised, and swept to a corner, the flower too lost its charm and shape. An angelic child, coming from somewhere, picked up the disfigured flower, transformed it into a flower of mind with an innocent smile. Thank you.
Meenakshi Goswami is the principal of CNSHS School, Sonitpur, Assam. She writes poetry, short stories and articles for all the leading dailies of Northeast India and the national journals and magazines of India. She is the recipient of State Award for Teachers in 2018 from the Government of Assam and the Republic Day Award in 2013 and 19 for her dedicated services to human resources, art and culture. Apart from IL Sikshya Ratna Puraskar in 2016, she has attended many national and international poetry festivals in India.
Hi everyone, this is Meenakshi Goswami from Tejpur, Assam, reciting my poem, Revamping. My heart was torpedoed in such a way, it controlled me to self-obliteration. A tolerable Homo sapien, I have been transformed to a perplexity of figures in composition. The sea so near, yet there's a thirst in my existence. This thirst is massive and life so short. The ways of this planet say there is nothing bound for you. Anyhow, my son is so vexed with me that I haven't seen the morning. The light had spurned me. Still, I improved relations with disappointments, and the setting sun has climbed once more. There won't be any dimness. I have transformed to a polyphony of figures in composition. Thank you.
Dr. Rita Dey is a retired headmistress from Howrah, West Bengal. She has double MA and PhD. She is a teacher, bilingual poet, author, editor and a critic. She has been writing poetry since her college life. She authored 6 volumes of creative writing, 2 critical and 2 general books, edited 5 books and journals, published 12 articles, 200 poems online. She received the Best Poet Award from Midnapur Kavita Utsav in 1993, literally Kalnal by Story Mirror, International Rupa Shri Bengal Puraskar
by Dr. Rita Dey. There was a dove which was all love, It has been killed by a hunter, Corona, whose name is modernity, that's fond of utility. There was a dove who was all love. It has been killed by a hunter, Corona, whose name is modernity, that's fond of utility. Thank you.
Dr. Sushminder Kaur is a bilingual poet, editor, translator and a short story writer. She is an associate professor and head PG Department of English at GG and Khalsa College, Ludhiana, Punjab. She has been teaching English literature to postgraduate students for more than 20 years and to graduates for 30 years. She is the coordinator of Department of Journalism in the college. She published poems and articles in various journals and anthologies and presented papers in many national and international seminars.
I feel myself privileged to be a part of this 13th Guntur International Poetic Festival. And from the core of my heart, I thank Mr. Gopichand and Madam Nagasushila ji. The title of my poem is Lockdown. Silence, when forced, is piercing, contrary to the quiet tranquility. Everything is locked down, but freed are the fluttering wings. The chirping has become louder, like a meeting in the open. The birds calling countless more to come out from their retreats. The coral, jellyfish, dolphin, seal, starfish, turtle, even octopus have migrated from their inner, less visited corners to have a view of this beautiful illusionary world. To them, it looks pretty perhaps for the first time ever, where these can breathe fearlessly in the clean Adam's air, as no clatter and clamor is heard, since they maintain the sanctity, yet gathering around, that now they can articulate to their content. No one is here to shoo them. The roads are bare and deserted, no milk vendors, no other region to go, no veggie sellers, no newspapers, no fundamentals even. The houses performing the task of a sheltered cage, no other region to go. The boundaries are created, though these are man-made, yet seem good to keep us safe. The humans were roaming uselessly, sparing no way for the birds and animals. Everything has a proportion and they got their space also. Mortals shut and birds open. This was to be happened as Homo sapiens have surrounded them, leaving no expanse for them. And these tongue-tied, hapless beings had to remain in. It had been their complete lockdown since ages. The position is reversed now. No boundaries for the tiny and the bigger ones, but for humans only. The whole universe is managing itself inside the locks, and unshackled are those inert creatures. It's the boundaries created by God, who himself is boundless, and taking care always of our karma, the yield of which is sown by us only. Thank you.
PV Krishnamachary is a poet working as a lecturer in a corporate college in Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. He was born on 30th November 1965. Teaching is his vocation and writing and reading poetry is his avocation.
I am PV Krishnamachary and I am going to recite my poem, Termination. Please listen to me. Man thinks that all must surrender to his power. Corona proves his notion to be a blunder forever. All walks of life are compelled to leave work. All halls of work are convinced to stop make. Employer becomes a tight-lipped, giving me cold shoulder. I cry aloud, being very nervous and feeling older. Lord, to provide pay for holiday is a turn deaf ear. Lo, this is the sad tale of workforce this year. Spare the well-paid, speak about the comparatively low-paid. How can I spend a day without monetary aid? The small savings are spent for the increased rent. A tenant I now tends to live in a tent. Milkman rushes eagerly to receive his monthly earnings. Paperboy shows up for his reward early morning. Grocer frowns at me for not clearing his dues. My teenager son begs me for paying college fees. Jobless I am, since I cannot find one elsewhere. Hopeless I become, as I cannot get funds anywhere. Resting on the sidewalk, I tearfully stare into space. Pinning hopes on charity, I think of the disgrace. Thank you.
Amulya Chand is a journalist by profession and poet and social activist by passion. She writes stories, articles and poems. She worked as a teacher for some time, then worked as a proofreader and later joined as sub-editor in Prajashakti, now working as casual announcer at AR Vijayawada. She has published many articles and poems in magazines and newspapers. She is very active on Facebook. Her pen name is Amulya Chand.
Hi everybody, good evening. I am Amulya. Today I recite a poem titled as Whensoever Did I. Maybe you are in delusion. Maybe you are in delusion, thinking the country is alive. Maybe you are with the hope that the country is waiting for us. Don't think this hot country gets cooled in your AC rooms. Now the country is full of wrinkles and with waste twisted in our hands, crying for them all over, fighting with a poisonous creature. I can't console them, knowing the reason, the pretty well. No assurance from my side to the country, because country is spitting on me. Because country spitting on me. Now the country is gone away, like the migrated, drenched in the bloodshed feet. I can't suggest to stay back, because whensoever did I. Thank you.
Itisri Sarangi is a well-known feminist turned professor turned author. She is a poet, editor and critic rolled into one. She is an independent, warm-hearted visionary who believes in the beauty of her dreams and full of life 24/7. The basic aim of her creations is its analytical aspect is to reach the truth, which is both vital and universal. She has served as an honorary member of the Juvenile Justice Board. She has presented her paper abroad, including Harvard and Oxford University.
First time I realized the depth of my inner soul that can handle so much during this pandemic. The shadow of the pandemic that needs to be unfolded. Don't feel crippled. The symptom of social withdrawal is not a permanent. It is only a time to discover the self. Give a smirk to the suffering which led us all to a true bonding experience. The act induced on mankind is lame. Let us all stand in solidarity against this negative case.
Lopamudra Lopamudra Mishra is a bilingual poet from Bhubaneswar, Orissa. She inherited her passion for writing from her father and grandfather. For her, writing is a powerful medium of expression. Her poems have been published in many magazines and anthologies. She presented poems in national and international poetry fests. She has to her credit 5 books of poetry, Rhyme of Rain, First Rain, Tingling Parables, and Rivulets of Emotion.
Lockdown Inc. Restoring Melody. During the lockdown, instinct preferred to shut down. The chains of images float, blocking mind with the erratic thoughts plot. Mental agony with the shocking symphony buzz in the hordes, roar near every doors. Silent lane speaks, daring peasant trips, barking dogs compete for hood slum. Melody in me is dull. Thirds search words. Words look for appropriate expression. I plunge between action and reaction. While reeling under the pressurized repetition, your lines surged in me. The forgotten melody to action. The melody, once lost in the bylane, ushered with a heap of statement, some lovely, some syrupy and juicy, some bitter and creepy, flash mobs and the flashes of rubies, the night of stars and the smiling earth, 1,000 feelings parade, 100 of cascade, roll inside my inmost bloom, restoring melody inside me to bloom. The slow blood vessels step up in a stroke. Thanks for the restoration and more.
Dr. Ketaki Datta is an associate professor of English at a government college in Kolkata. She is a poet, critic, reviewer, translator, short story writer, and a novelist. She has 2 volumes of poetry collections, the latest being a joint venture with Professor Wilfred Rossett, a photographer.
To you, I'm going to read out the poem. I'm very much thankful to the organizers of GIPA for inviting me to read out my poem. I'm coming straight to the poem. A new world to be born. Wash your hands for 20 seconds. Wear mask when you need to go out. Leave not your own self behind, take it along. Well masked, well camouflaged, hands washed off of all sins, all misdoings like the indelible stains of homicide committed long, long ago. The soulless roads cry out in anguish, the wind howls on the empty thoroughfares, listening to its own swoosh like the wolves in an African jungle. The sky getting bluer like with no aviar to cross by, leaving a smoky trail of civilized humanity. A new world is about to be born on the feathers of a long-lost sparrow, dancing down the steps of a spiraling staircase of the dilapidated house across the road. The roads lying in quiet abandon speak to themselves, seeking a little attention of the people of the post-COVID era, who will at least care not to clutter them, care not to trample upon them with careless abandon. Thank you. Doctor?
COVID-19 by Dr. Lanka Sivarama Prasad. Gazing in the grottos of that labyrinth, grazing was a coronatar gulping absinthe, waging on timeline to grab the life's plinth, haggling quota to varied wavelength. Gazing in the grottos of that labyrinth, grazing was a coronatar gulping absinthe, waging on timeline to grab the life's plinth, haggling quota to varied. Plain men seeking work, they know nothing, because wise men have camouflaging with sharper forks and knives at length, gazing in the grottos of that labyrinth. Plain men seeking work know nothing, because wise men have camouflaging with sharper forks and knives at length, gazing in the grottos of that labyrinth. Mild men like the lost wave were in flight, their fragile bodies were shaking in fright. Sweat in their feet bound the way length, grazing was a coronatar gulping absinthe. Mild men like the lost wave were in flight, their fragile bodies were shaking in fright. Sweat in their feet bound the way length, grazing was a coronatar gulping absinthe. Frail men who caught the sun were in thirst, learned to walk feet by feet in fear thrust. Of late they emigrated in double strength, waging on timeline to grasp the life's plinth. Frail men who caught the sun were in thirst, learned to walk feet by feet in fear thrust. Of late they emigrated in double strength, waging on timeline to grab the life's plinth. Brave men saw the future in hot smog, and graves opening in volatile virus bog. Ventilators choking on life's lost strength, haggling quota to varied wavelength. Brave men saw the future in hot smog, and graves opening in volatile virus bog. Ventilators choking on life's lost strength, haggling quota to varied wavelength. Oh, migrant man, there on the high seat, a priest disposes infinite sweetmeat. Take a ball of thread to measure the plinth, raging in the grottos of that labyrinth. Oh, migrant man, there on the high seat, a priest disposes infinite sweetmeat. Take a ball of thread to measure the plinth, gazing on the grottos of that labyrinth. Gazing in the grottos of that labyrinth, grazing was a coronatar gulping absinthe, waging on timeline to grab the life's plinth, haggling quota to varied wavelength. Gazing in the grottos of that labyrinth, grazing was a coronatar's gulping absinthe, waging on timeline to grab the life's plinth, haggling quota to varied wavelength.
Corona, a universal wail. Corona, a distant whisper. Silently it engulfed the world. Every city and town, the youth and the world, struck down by the violent blow of Corona. The world suddenly froze. Students in foreign lands, the software professionals in far-off lands, the day laborers in other states, the young and the old in the neighboring states, in frenzied terror, in unknown pain, by the pull of the gut to be at home at any cost, rushed to airports, booked cars, on bikes, on cycles, on carts, like swarms of bees, filled the roads, spilled at airports, but the lockdown broke their hearts. Mothers at home, kith and kin at airports and state borders, in panic clutches, haunting dangers of Corona, made them die in horrors. Mothers' anguish, wails of babies, will the night end? Will the day dawn? At last, all are in quarantine. Like a crumbling old stones, the death toll rolled hour by hour. How long? Oh God, how long will there be an end, or an end to all? A sneeze, a cough, a fever sprouts an endless chills in the spine. An end to me, an end to my family, an end to my society. The horrors of the outbreak, the stories behind the outbreak, the remedies and preventive drugs, the herbs that curb the attack of virus, viral, filled the cell phones and TV channels. The fear of the infection, the postings in FB and WhatsApp, filled the nightmares and daydreams. Corona, a universal thriller. Corona, a universal pain. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Anave. I am going to sing Corona song. Corona is there. Why are we staying home? Can you wait? We are just going to fight with it. So everyone, are you with me? Trying to defeat the coronavirus. So everyone, are you with me? I should go away. So everyone, let's defeat the coronavirus from the tablets. Everyone, support me. Make it go away. Make this coronavirus go. Let's fight with it and make it go.
What we should do to make it go away? Sing.
We should fight and do hand wash like this. We should put sanitizer and make masks. No children allowed to go away outside. Let's enjoy. You miss your school a lot. Let's enjoy on the home. Let's be careful so that we can get coronavirus. Always wear your mask. Put your hands with sanitizer. Rub it and be careful. And make the tablet so that you cannot get hurt and deal with like these things. So make the coronavirus go. Make the sanitizer. And make the tablet. Let's not go and enjoy. We can do it whenever we do, but now let's enjoy. Let's enjoy. You miss your school ride. Let's enjoy it in our home. What you should do. Do activities and enjoy. Don't ever never say vice coronavirus. Oh no! You know how we are going to deal with all. Let's defeat the coronavirus. Let's defeat. Until then, you should be at home and put sanitizer and put the medicine for go. You should be okay. You miss your school now.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे